Good evening. Buenas tardes. Today is Tuesday, March 8th. The board meeting is called to order today at 5:30 p.m. With the board going directly into executive session under ORS 192-6602-I to review and evaluate the performance of the superintendent or any other public officer, employee, or staff member, unless that person requests an open hearing. It is now 6 p.m. and we are reconvening our meeting with the public session, which is a regular business meeting. All board members are present. Recent global events involving the conflict between Ukraine and Russia are concerning for all of us here around the world and for our Ukrainian and Russian-speaking families who have children in the Salem-Keizer schools. They may be impacted by these events, worried about loved ones who may be in harm's way and unable to communicate. As a board, we are committed to standing behind our safe and welcoming message by supporting our students and their families, embracing them with care, compassion, and a predictable, calm environment. We will be that safe haven. Our students and families can count on us to focus on peace and support during this troubling time. We hope and pray for a swift and peaceful resolution to the conflict, other conflicts around the world, and those conflicts rising here at home. May peace be with you all. I'd like to ask all the board members to join me and ask everybody to just please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We do have agenda modifications tonight. The addition of a modified resolution number 202122-11, request from the City of Salem to Taxing District. That item will be added at 7B in the agenda. So moving on to our spotlights. Superintendent Parry.
Right. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you tonight. We have some spotlights tonight, and our first spotlight is going to be presented by our English language specialist from North Salem High School, Malaya Haugen. And is Malaya on? And if you could also introduce the student. Oh, look at that. And, yay.
I am so sorry.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Yep, this is why we're here. So
yeah. So my name is Malaya Haugen. Like Superintendent Parry said, I'm the English language acquisition specialist at North Salem High School. And our student spotlight today is Shaylin. And I think she's trying to get in right now as we speak.
She's on. I see her. Hi, Shaylin.
Fabulous. Shaylin is a 10th grader, a leadership student at our school. Nope, that's mine.
Oh, good.
No. All right. And so am I ready to say my spiel?
You're ready. You're ready to go.
All right. Here we go. Chair Avila, board directors, and Superintendent Parry. Tonight, I'd like to recognize North Salem High School student Shaylin Huff. Also here from North tonight is our leadership teacher, Amanda Starkey, and assistant principal, Mike Simmenthal. Shaylin Huff has shown leadership in helping North Salem High School create an effective, sustainable system to welcome our new neighbors who are our recent arrivals. Additionally, she has quickly been a voice and advocate for our newcomers from Afghanistan. Our Afghani students have dietary constraints, and when she learned this, Shaylin met with Principal Toey to ensure our kitchen staff could meet their needs. She continues to check in and eat lunch with them to build friendship and assures they are learning more about our American school system. Shaylin Huff is constantly sharing how humbled she is by supporting our newcomers. She is being the change we wish to see in the world. Shaylin is setting a positive example of what it means to be accepting of all, regardless of their identities, race, class, gender, or nationality. North prides itself on the diversity of our staff and students. She reminds us of how we can be a support and an ally to anyone, and that there is strength and power in an accepting community. Shaylin is showing compassion and kindness to peers who are learning American culture, our school system, and English language. She has quickly become their ally, being culturally responsive to their needs and giving the students a peer they can trust. Without even realizing it, Shaylin began supporting and advocating for not just one Afghani student, but an entire program of students who have unique needs. Her confidence in asking questions has not only helped North be responsive to our newcomers, but hopefully district-wide. That is Shaylin Huff.
Shaylin, it's great to meet you tonight. Do you want to say anything to the board while you're here? Maybe one thing you've learned?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just super, super honored that I get this opportunity right now. And I'm like beyond happy that I'm able to make such an impact and that I'm able to help as much as I am. I don't know. I guess I've learned that like through this entire process, like small things make such a big difference. Like using your voice and advocating for something that can seem so small can be so big to others. And it's been proven. And yeah, I'm just super, super I'm super happy that I get to help out. And I love doing absolutely anything I can to help out. So, yes.
Shaylin, thank you. And thank you for what you do at
course.
North Salem and for the students at North Salem. Let's give it up for Shaylin.
Yay!
Yeah. All right. Our next spotlight is going to be presented by Nicole Spearman-Eccleston, and she's going to present. She's our career technical education coordinator, and she's going to present about a program at Parrish Middle School. All right, Nicole, did we get your students in?
Yes, we
Awesome.
did. And oh my gosh, Shaylin, sweetheart, you just filled my cup tonight. So thank you for being here. And hopefully I can fill your cup even more with this spotlight. It is my pleasure tonight to recognize Parrish Middle School's teacher, Christy Cheever, as well as one of her amazing students, Shanna McLean. Do you have your camera on, honey? So these individuals are amazing. In just 1 year of having our Paxton Patterson, otherwise known as our career exploration courses at Paxton Patterson, we have seen tremendous success. Ironically, some of you may have recognized Christy's name as she has been an elementary administrator and wanted to take an opportunity to get to know the middle school world. And she has taken that on like a champ with this program, and ironically enjoys the opportunity to hang out with students, which I just think is great and truly part of her spirit of who she is and connecting with our students. This is a program that Christy is able to offer to all 7th and 8th grade students, and it provides authentic hands-on opportunities for them to build interest in a future career. This is one of our opportunities where middle school experiences are developing authentic relationships with each other as they build teamwork and collaboration as they go through a rotation through all of our various modules. Modules are chosen at our sites based on what is offered in our feeder system, so that we hope that these students are continuing to explore even further as they get into their high school opportunities. At Parrish, Christy is offering 17 different modules and experiences. Energy and Power, which is one of her students, Fabian Cadena, is excelling in as he loves his engines, having trouble getting in on this opportunity tonight though. With us though is Shanna. Hi, honey. She's here today as one of her favorite modules is the nursing module. And I assure you that she enjoys it because it's probably the fake blood. That's my favorite part. As well as we have other opportunities in home maintenance, child development, forensic science, structural engineering, research and development, flights and drones, and the list continues on. But we are very excited that we've been able to do this opportunity at not just Parrish, but all of our middle schools, including our Roberts Middle School that just opened this year. Thank you, Christy, for engaging our students and ensuring that they have success. They have increased motivation in all their other content areas because of their excitement and passion to be in your classes. And we are very proud of you, Shana, and all of that you are accomplishing and exploring as you have been a part of this course. Thank you.
Thank you both, Christy and Shana. I hope that Shana's thinking about career towards one of our medical strands when she gets into high school. We've got lots of opportunity for you. All right, our last spotlight tonight is going to be presented by Haley Wilkerson, a teacher at Stevens Middle School. Is Haley here? I think I saw the principal. There she is. Hey, Haley, it's good to see you.
Chair Avila, Board of Directors, and Superintendent Perry. The Stevens Middle School Bulldogs are proud to announce our revalidation as an AVID National Demonstration School and Site of Distinction. From the AVID Revalidation Report, Stevens Middle School exemplifies a comprehensive AVID system. There are sparks all throughout the district, but Stevens Middle School is a bonfire. At Stevens, AVID school-wide, the AVID elective and AVID Excel elective work in harmony. Every student is an AVID student and every teacher is an AVID teacher. Stevens educators and scholars have been working diligently toward this goal since 2017, when Stevens Middle School became the first in the Salem-Keizer School District to validate as a national demonstration school. While the circumstances of the last 2 years have brought instability for students, we are proud that we were able to provide consistent systems and structures for all of our Stevens scholars, which allowed students to continue to learn at high levels and to jump back into collaboration upon our return to in-person learning. We believe that Stevens scholars grow stronger together. We are inspired by our staff and students for their hard work and the ways that they rise to meet the challenges every single day. And we are grateful to the AVID organization for the opportunity to share our learning with others. Stevens Middle School is a linguistically, culturally, and socioeconomically diverse community of learners. The AVID program provides opportunities for all of our students to engage with rigorous content, to occupy positions of leadership, and to graduate from high school prepared for college readiness and success in a global society. By using AVID strategies school-wide, all Stevens Middle School scholars are equipped and empowered to overcome barriers that stand in the way of advanced educational opportunities. There are only 4 AVID National Demonstration Schools in the state of Oregon, which includes both Stevens and Claggett Creek Middle Schools. We are also part of a select group of 200 national demonstration schools worldwide in the US, Canada, and Australia. We appreciate Salem-Keizer Public Schools for their investment in supporting the AVID program at all levels. We are especially grateful to Barb Bamford, Karina Searle, and Tara Boyko for their continued support and encouragement. And above all, we are grateful to our Stevens Bulldog staff, without whom this accomplishment would not have been possible.
On with us tonight are Principal David Wood, Assistant Principal Katie Such, and then Barb Bamford, our AVID coordinator. And being a national demonstration school is huge in normal times, even more exceptional, I should say, in times of COVID, to be able to still remain at that distinction. So thank you for your work on behalf of our students. Yep.
Great. Thank you, everybody that's been highlighted today. We really appreciate all the work and effort that you put into, and you show up every day, and for these students and for your community members. Thank you. Moving on to our agenda, which is our report. So handing it back to you, Superintendent Perry.
All right, good evening again. And I have a couple guests with me in the superintendent report. So Ethan, as you're getting up the slides, I'm going to make a couple comments about a few little bit of random things while he's getting up slides. And then we also have a music student from McKay, who I'm just giving him the warning. He's going to be up in just a minute. So a couple announcements. One is we did release this week a bonus to our substitute teachers. That includes our both licensed and classified subs. We're tying it to working this spring when we know is a big time for substitutes again. It's based on how much people work. So we announced that this week, and I just wanted to make sure you knew that. We also, there's been a little bit of chatter about substitutes, and we do have the ability this year to have emergency substitute licenses for educators, which has really helped us in this time. It is a TSPC approved license, and the ability for us to get people into classrooms has been, first of all, really helpful to keep kids in person and to keep schools moving along this year, but also it's a recruitment opportunity for us, for people to come in and sub maybe while they're in college, maybe they're on their way to college and still support families. So we really see this as a recruitment strategy for us as well. We'll see if the emergency license continues with TSPC beyond this year, but for this year, it was a move by the state to help us with the substitute shortages. All right, so it is Music and Education Month. And if you have not been to a music performance in Salem-Keizer recently, you need to get one on your schedule. I had a chance to listen to the McKay Orchestra who were at the Elsinore Theater, and I was incredibly struck by the skill level for kids who had been out in a pandemic. Right. So I don't know what I was expecting, but I was so impressed with the skills that they've been able to maintain. And so just some highlights about music in Salem-Keizer. Go ahead and switch the slide there, Ethan. Secondary music enrollment is currently at about 5,600 students, big amount of students. We have music programs starting in kindergarten. We have a licensed music educator in for every student for music starting in elementary school. And then as they move into fourth grade, they get orchestra and then band and choir, and then which feeds into our middle school programs. West Salem Band was recognized by the National Band Association as one of 2 high schools nationwide to earn Blue Ribbon distinction in 2021. 100 plus Salem-Keizer students were accepted into the 2022 All-State Ensemble held in January. Steve Phillips at Auburn Elementary was recognized as the Oregon Music Educator, Elementary Educator of the Year. And this Saturday, we are featuring our elementary choir festival. Fun fact about the choir festival, it was this moment in time 2 years ago when I was helping the Hoover Choir prepare for the festival, and I was accompanying them. And I remember this feeling of, I can't concentrate on playing because the whole world is changing. So that moment in time when you know the world's going to change, I was playing with Hoover. So we're so excited to have our elementary kids back with their choir festival on Saturday. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to 2 people here. Alex Figueroa is orchestra director at McKay High School, and he is featuring one of his students, Kevin Flores. He's going to play a little bit for us, and then I'm hoping, you can go ahead and take the slides down too as they prepare. I'm hoping Alex and Kevin can just give us a couple minutes of their time to ask a couple questions before I move on to the rest. So welcome. It's great to see you here.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited to share everything that we've been doing this year as we celebrate music in our schools. As Superintendent Perry said, at McKay, we had our big fundraiser concert a couple weeks ago at the Elsinore Theater, where we brought in world-renowned soloist Hal Grossman, who also teaches at University of Oregon, to play the entirety of Vivaldi's 4 Seasons with us, which was quite a treat to be a part of. And I I've heard all great things from the community, and we appreciate your support for that. And then just 4 days later, the chamber orchestra brought in Prita Frigiola, the assistant concertmaster of the Oregon Symphony, to work with our students. So we're really excited that our students in Salem-Keizer have such tremendous opportunities. And I can tell you personally, at McKay, I've just been so impressed by the students here and their dedication, their talent, and most importantly, just how kind and respectful they are. And a great example of that is here with us tonight in Kevin Flores. So Kevin will be attending Portland State next year to study both nursing and music. And we recorded a little piece for you from Kevin from Bach's Partita No. 2 in D minor. So I'm going to share my screen here, or at least attempt to. And there we go. And so here is Kevin Flores playing some of Bach's Partita in D minor.
So awesome, Kevin. All right, Kevin, are you okay if I just ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, go for it.
All righty. So could you just tell us when you started playing and any people along the way that were particularly helpful?
Yeah, so I actually started playing the violin since I was in 3rd grade. My sister, who's actually going to Portland State, taught me the basics of the violin and everything and how to play and read notes and everything. And then I went on to 4th grade with Mr. DeRose and Miss Barber, helping me with all the skills and all that stuff. And then I was introduced to lessons with the music lesson project with Seeger and Oprea. That's been going on since I started 7th grade. And then going on to high school, Mr. Charnholm helped me with all my studies, Miss Garber, and then now Mr. Figueroa.
Awesome. Director Hyen, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you for that performance. My son plays viola. I love the strings. So you kind of answered one of the questions, which was, did you have to take additional lessons, like private lessons, in addition to school? And I think the answer was partly yes, that I heard. And then how many hours a week do you practice?
Well, I try to practice, the required, I guess, practice is an hour a day, I guess. But I try to strive between an hour and a half to 2 hours, because that's, you got to practice your scales, your pieces, a little technique work to actually get the right, I guess, settings for your music. So I guess a week would be 6, 8, 10, between like 10 to 12 hours of practice. And plus on top of that, school also, and lessons on top of that.
Right. To be good, you have to really be dedicated. And
yeah.
You are awesome. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, of course.
Kevin, one more question for you. If you were giving advice to a young student, maybe elementary age, about whether they should get involved in music, what would you tell them and why?
Honestly, if you think you'll like it, just go for it. If it's something new, just go for it. Because at first, I was kind of skeptical of actually playing an instrument. I thought it was one of the most hardest things ever. But once you kind of just ignored all that, if you like it, if you like the sound of it, or you're just interested, just go for it. Because that'll really help you in the long run.
That's awesome. One of our community partners, Sandy Wiscarson, has started the music lesson project, and Kevin mentioned that. We really work hard to provide private lesson access for kids in the North and McKay feeder area. And we're really seeing that the ability to boost skill level across all of our high schools with that. So huge shout out to the Music Lessons Project and Sandy Wiscarson. Alex, last for you, anything you want to add?
I would just like to reiterate and just thank Salem-Keizer and thank the community for all you're doing to support music teachers and music students in this time. You know, it's been a really rough couple of years for the arts, and I've been really proud to see our community bounce back through music and through the performing arts. So just to extend a thank you to all of you, and we really appreciate your support.
Yeah. Thank you both for being here tonight. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, with that, I'm going to switch gears and I'll talk about COVID health and safety protocols. I have two more items for the agenda tonight. One is COVID health and safety protocols, and then I'll pause in case there are a few questions, and then we're going to switch to, we've got a couple people to talk about the CBOC quarterly report. So with that, you all know that we had some changed guidance again, multiple deadlines for that. And the CDC came out with some really clear community metrics that we can kind of helps us kind of navigate as we're moving into this next phase of the pandemic. So this is the CDC community levels, and they're really pointing to at that medium level that we can have people with choice over masking. That is also supported by Oregon Health Authority and a couple of our community health providers as well. They are projecting that we'll actually go into the low level in the coming weeks. I haven't checked it again recently for a couple of days, but they are seeing the cases go down, and we're in this time of some great immunity in Oregon, and it feels super hopeful to be here. Go ahead and go on to the next slide, Ethan. This chart is available on the CDC website, but it really talks about the community level preventative strategies and the individual and household level preventative strategies. And so we're trying to kind of align our thinking, which is also supported by Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Department of Ed. Go ahead and go on to the next slide. So the reason for where we are now is that because we have a high level of vaccination rate and previous infection rate due to Omicron, they're saying that Oregon now has significant population immunity, and OHA is estimating that it's upward of about 82% of individuals are currently immune. And what they're projecting is this immunity will last for the next 90 days. So of course I'm counting March, April, May. Can we get through June with this high level immunity before the next surge comes at us? So effective March 12th, we are in Oregon pausing contact tracing and quarantine for the general population, including in K-12 settings. You know the work our nursing team has done during this time to do all the contact tracing with sending off to our local health authorities and all the work of the local health partners and our local health departments as well. They are strongly encouraging to provide cohort notifications when exposures occur. And because we have a lower case rate right now, we're going to move to update that dashboard daily so that a family can see in their school if we've had a COVID positive case. We also still have a very large supply of test kits. The test to stay, which has been a word we've used or a program we've talked about, it goes away, but the test kits don't go away. Test to stay was based on contact tracing and the allowing of if a kid was a close contact, they could stay with a negative test. Since we're not contact tracing, that specific program goes away, but we have lots of the Buy Next Now and home test kits, and we're saying to our school sites, use them. The rules around using them have loosened up a lot. Of course, it would be parent permission or parents coming to do the test themselves, and we have a lot of tests take home, so we can just give out kits at home. So we'll offer rapid tests to individuals at increased risk of severe illness as well. We do have quite a few numbers of vulnerable classrooms with kids who are medically vulnerable. And so we'll be really sure that in those cases we give direct access to the test kits. Next, there we go. Vaccinations, what I'm seeing right now on the horizon for us is I don't see any change for the vaccination requirement. It looks like it's dropping for state workers, the vaccine requirement, but the K-12 requirement is still with us. And that applies to volunteers, to contractors, if they were coming in during the school day, long-term visitors on campus. So there is quite a bit of tracking of the system. And for right now, I do not see that being lifted. I hope we see a lift on that this summer, but right now I don't see that being lifted. We are able to grant medical and religious exceptions for staff and volunteers. We've done that for our staff. We have about 650 exceptions, and we're getting ready to figure out the next step in the process, which is to allow that exceptions for volunteers. It does take a little bit of tracking and a system to do that. For our unvaccinated staff members, we're saying no KN95 masking is required. We're encouraging it. There's still an encouragement for their personal protection, but we're letting that be a choice. We'll have them monitor for weekly symptoms like they've been doing. They'll do weekly testing like they've been doing, and they'll need to report positive tests and follow up with the COVID team like any employee does. We have a weekly attestation form that our employees use. Not every school in this district in the state is changing that requirement for unvaccinated. We're choosing to, and we know that our unvaccinated employees will do their due diligence with their attestation forms and being super careful about monitoring symptoms. We are moving starting on Saturday to masks are optional for all staff and students. That would include visitors to the school. We're encouraging high risk and unvaccinated to wear KN95s. I had a chance to visit with a couple people in the last 2 or 3 days about what's how they're navigating it in their school. And they're really working hard to be okay with whatever people choose to do. Many of the principals are talking about that with their staff, and really healthy conversations. And I know those healthy conversations are happening in classrooms with students as well. I heard an educator tell me that she knew her principal would need to wear a face covering. And she's like, because of that, I'm going to be sure I wear mine when I ever go into her office. So you can hear a lot of that care for each other, which is super great to see right now. That we are going to require some masking in medically vulnerable settings. So we have some kids who can't mask, and we have staff that need to work with them in things like toileting, feeding, close contact. And Melissa Glover and her team are figuring out who those kids are and helping those staff members know when they need to mask and when they don't. Anyway, I think we are also with our principals, we've released our safety guidance to be much less stringent. So getting ready to open back up for volunteers, visitors. What our principals have asked, and we've said yes, is progress towards opening up, because they've really spent so much of this time in a much more closed down position. So many of the schools have already had limited volunteers. So they'll know they can start expanding that, opening it up to visitors. We've released our guidance to them, and our goal is to kind of get the pathway back. The other thing we are needing to be sure we are careful about is that our principals know that we could have to go back. So if we have another spike, what's that mean? And then there's some things they're doing that they won't change. So some of the things they're finding work better in their system. One example, a couple examples. One is it is so quiet in middle schools without middle school lockers banging in passing periods. I don't know if they'll go back to lockers. It just is a different kind of flow of the school. And one of our middle schools actually has cohort passing periods. And so only half the kids are passing at a time. And they won't change that right now because it's in the middle of the school year. And it's really helped the school have fewer kids in the hallways during passing times. So the volunteers that are seeking medical and religious exceptions, we know we have a number of them out there. We're working on a process. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to, before spring break, at least roll out the process, even though we have to check those. It is a single person out of human resources checking every exception that comes in and then putting it into the system for approval. We do have about 700 people that have already submitted the vaccine requirements, and some are already volunteering. And we'll have to figure out if there's any additional requirements for volunteers in some ways that we can monitor. Right now, we're not thinking it's a KN95 mask, but we'll have to think about how we do symptom screening and things like that. So with that, I would open it up to questions before I get to the annual report. And then I also have a couple people on the line, Chris Baldridge, our Director of Safety and Risk, and also Bob and Olga and Ethan are here to answer questions as well. All right, Director Bethel.
Thank you. So my question is around clarification for the medically vulnerable students.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the effort being put into that. I do think it's important, but I'm curious what parental voice you're going to engage in that discussion, and if the parents are going to be allowed to decide on their child's behalf if that mask will be necessary.
Are you, all of that goes, if there's a change in protocol, it will go through the IEP team meeting. And we're talking about the kids who can't mask themselves. So we wouldn't require them to mask. I don't think Melissa's here today, so I don't know exactly how that process with parents will go for any parent notification, like if a staff member needs to put on a mask to take a student into the bathroom. Is that what you're wanting to know? Well,
I may have misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were saying that because we had medically fragile students, they would be needing to wear a mask themselves. So
No.
You're saying that for those that can't, you're trying to figure out how to support
Correct.
them to protect them.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because we worry that we do have a few kids who can't. And so then their parents can't choose from them. And it is a group of parents that are really also worried about their kids because they're medically vulnerable, can't mask in a school setting.
Right.
So,
okay, Thank you.
Yep.
And just some clarification from Director Glover, she just messaged in. She said the requirement is staff. We will not require students to mask. So it's connected to staff and not necessarily students. And for those working specifically with those students who can't mask, that are vulnerable.
Thank you. Director Chandra Giri.
Thank you very much. This has been a complex, challenging issue, and thank you for negotiating through all this. And it's been too much. Now, having said that, moving forward, let's say when we start loosening up these things, there are some staff members who probably resigned or left or were asked to leave. Will this allow us to do some restorative work to kind of bring them back and let them get back to work? Because at the end of the day, that is really important because they're amazing people who kind of spent their entire career And I don't want them to retire or feeling kind of wound to bother them for the rest of their life. Would this give us an opportunity to really practice restorative practice and bring them back and find a way to get them back to work? Because our children and everybody has been traumatized. I'm just telling you bluntly. I'm not going to mince words today. And if not, could you work on some policy changes so that we can really practice restorative practice and bring our staff members back? Because Governor Brown has also talked about, some state workers who are not vaccinated can come back. Because COVID is going to be with us. They're going to be our neighbors. So we have no choice but to live with it.
Well, if they want to come back, we're a little different than the state, unfortunately, in that we still have the vaccine requirement. And so we have a few that chose to leave. And so we're still following the medical or religious exception under the law. And that's different for state workers. So I've got a couple of people on my mind that are actually still working for us that have had to change locations that I've just had on my mind. So of course we would want them to come back, but the vaccine mandate hasn't changed. So I would love a application to come in if they're interested in what we are seeing and what we see on the horizon. They can reach out to Brian, who's doing that recruiting right now as well, and he'll bring all of those forward that would need a restorative process.
I just want to if you don't mind, a follow-up question. We have to find a way to bring them back without having any sense of retribution or anything else, where they really feel safe to come back. To me, that's really practicing restorative practice, and not to feel kind of shamed or blamed or kind of hurt or canceled or kind of thing. And I don't think we can have a policy to that effect. It's more a culture and a practice of saying those teachers are our teachers, these kids are our kids, and so that our community can truly walk the walk, not just use this as a way to separate them. This is just to ask how you're going to do it, how you're going to practice, right from the board all the way down to community. It's a challenge for all of us to put our heads together. If you have to change policies, if you want us to go advocate for some change with the ODE or testify in public, write to the newspaper, I'm prepared to do it. But I don't think we can wound our community and divide our community on this basis when we have made changes in one location but not in another location. Virus doesn't care. Whether in Walmart I go without mask and in school I wear mask. It's, so really let's think of dismantling the structural barriers that is keeping our community divided. That's my ask.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And we also have to just remember schools are a little bit different because of the numbers of kids at a time. But I just don't have the crystal ball right now of what will come in the next round of changes. I wonder about that a lot. And will we have additional release of restrictions? But I was just really thankful to get through this one. But I do appreciate that.
You're muted.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anything from my team I missed that you might want to add? And John Bate is not here tonight, but Brett Cheever and Peggy Stock are, and I know that they will they heard your comments about how do we bring people back in a restorative way. And so I know they'll take that back to the HR team. All right, with that, I'm going to switch gears. We have two guests here tonight. We have Nancy McMorris-Addix. Hi, Nancy, and Lisa Harnish. They're co-chairs for our Community Bond Oversight Committee. And Bob, I think you were going to give a couple comments and then turn it over to them.
Yep. So as you'll hear in the report tonight, the bond program has made a lot of progress over our busiest year, which is year 3 of the bond. But we did run into some significant challenges, which the co-chairs will share with you tonight. And we are starting to see more effects of the current market conditions, which include labor shortages and uncertainty in the cost of materials. And that's impacting the number of bids we receive, the cost of the bids that we receive on those projects. And if conditions continue to deteriorate, we could even see delays in the projects themselves. So don't mean to be the Debbie Downer on a wonderful report that Nancy and Lisa have prepared for us, but I thought it was important to just make the public aware that the market conditions are changing and there's just a lot of uncertainty out there right now impacting our projects. So with that, Nancy and Lisa, if you want to do your presentation.
All right, so thank you very much. Members of the board and the public, my name is Lisa Harnish and I am one of the co-chairs for the CBOC, also as co-chair of the bond committee and also one of the co-chairs for the facilities task force. And it's a pleasure to be with you here this evening.
And hi, everybody. I'm Nancy McMorris-Oddix. I was sitting in one of your seats when we made the decision to go forward with the bond and worked on the bond campaign, and now am one of 3 co-chairs of the Community Bond Oversight Committee, with Mark Shipman being the 3rd. We're proud to be here tonight representing CBOC to provide the committee's annual report to the school board for 2021. The written report is included in the packet and provides details about the bond's program's progress in the last calendar year. We have a few highlights and photos of progress to share. We'll keep this brief. Unfortunately, we can't show you everything. There's just too much. Let's start. Are there slides? They're supposed to be.
Yvonne, you're on the slides. Sorry, I should have warned you.
I was wondering when we would toggle over to them.
We're on slide 2. Let's start with a reminder of the major promises of the bond. In 2018, the community approved the bond in order to expand career and technical education and science opportunities, add space to relieve crowding, increase safety and security, including seismic safety, and protect the community's investment in existing buildings by planning for future repair and replacement needs. 2021 was an eventful year, and the program has made significant progress. Next slide. We have highlights of 4 of the largest construction projects completed in 2021 to share. First, we have Scott Elementary School. Work at Scott reflects a $10.5 million investment and was substantially complete in the fall of 2021. Here you can see the footprint of the campus before construction, which is the top, and after, with the new classroom addition shown to the left of the existing building. Highlights of the work at Scott include 10 new classrooms. You can go to the next slide. 10 new classrooms, a new cafeteria and kitchen, a multi-purpose fitness room, removal of portable classrooms, a secured vestibule and visitor check-in space in the front entry. Here you can see an example of the new classrooms and interior of the multi-purpose fitness room. Next slide. Next, South Salem High School was complete in time for school to start last fall. This was a very large project and represents $84 million investment. Here you can see the footprint of the campus before construction on the Howard Street side. So all of that existing building that you see with the dark roof has been demolished. Next slide. And here is the after slide with the new state-of-the-art Performing Arts Center. That's the building with the stripes that you can see facing you. New classroom addition, which is behind that. New tennis courts, and field house. That's the like brown roofed next to the tennis courts, and additional parking. The neighbors, I think, are thrilled that there's actually a good sized parking lot for the students to be in. Next slide. Highlights of work at South include 12 additional classrooms, expanded CTE space. You can see the culinary room right there. A secured vestibule and customer check-in space at the front entry, a performing arts center, which is the other photograph there on the left, which includes the amazing new Rose Auditorium, a black box theater, soundproof rehearsal studios, and music classrooms, and more. A new auxiliary gym, significant seismic improvements, additional parking, and that's my report. Now it's Lisa's turn.
All right, thank you so much, Nancy. And next we're gonna walk to Auburn Elementary School. Auburn is a great example of adding space to relieve overcrowding. Auburn is the largest elementary school project in the bond at an investment of $21.6 million. Work was completed in time for school to open last fall. Here you can see the before and after images with the new cafeteria and classroom additions shown in the foreground. That is a pretty big difference if you ask me. If we could move to the next slide. So some of the highlights of improvements at Auburn include a new cafeteria and a kitchen, 11 new classrooms, a multi-purpose fitness room, a secured vestibule and visitor check-in space at the front entry, and all of the portable classrooms were removed. And on this slide, you'll see a new kindergarten classroom and the new cafeteria, which looks like a great place to be. So next we'll move on to McKay. Work at McKay High School represents another very large project and was also substantially complete last fall. The footprint of this campus has changed dramatically. This is McKay before the bond renovations. And next slide. Here you can see the new McKay High School. This photo shows the new addition, which includes science classrooms, an auxiliary gym, weight room, and a state-of-the-art library. If you haven't driven onto the McKay campus recently, you really should see the building from the ground level. It really is stunning, absolutely stunning. Some of the highlights in the work at McKay include 11 new modern science classrooms, a new building for career and technical programs, which houses the culinary, agriculture, and engineering programs, an expanded cafeteria and kitchen, a secured vestibule and visitor check-in space at the front entry, a black box theater and music room, a 21st century library media center, and 2 new developmental learning center classrooms. And here in this photo, or on this slide, you can see the new library and the new CTE building. In conclusion, or to close, we'd like to share an observation from the last CBOC meeting. In the early days after the bond was first passed, CBOC members recalled hearing concerns from the schools and from the community that bond funds may run out before all the promised work could be done, and that some schools would see cuts to their improvement plans. CBOC is pleased to share that not only is this not the case with the 2018 bond program, the program is on track and on budget to deliver all the promises made to every school and the community. And in fact, has allocated nearly $140 million more in improvements than the original $619.7 million plan, and has $33 million available in program contingencies. The community can feel assured that the promises made in this bond program are being fulfilled. And that concludes our report this evening, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of this process.
Thank you very much for that presentation. The construction and the additions and the transformation that these schools have is amazing. It's going to serve our city very well. And South Salem just looks, I've been to McCain, it's beautiful. South Salem looks amazing. But I had a question on the parking lot path to the school and back. Was there lights there for safety?
Are you asking about South?
Yes, south.
Yeah, I'm really certain that that path down is lit. I haven't been there at night, but I remember seeing lights go in as they were putting it in. The most prominent part that you see is the driveway where the cars drive down. And I imagine that is lit just for safety reasons. It's narrow, but the walking path up, I'm sure, is lit.
And I can verify that for you, Chair.
Thank you. Well,
any other questions?
Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for having us.
Yep. Thanks for being here and thanks for your leadership. They've worked from facilities to passing the bond to C-Box, so it's really been awesome. Thank you.
Been a package deal.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, and that's all I have for the superintendent's report tonight.
Great. I'm going to take a quick poll real fast, see if we want to do a quick bathroom break before we get into our public comment. All right, let's do 5 minutes and we'll see you here. We'll start at 7:05, so 7 minutes. we'll get started with public comment. And we have both Zoom and phone callers today. We will allow 45 minutes to hear public comment. We will focus first on Zoom and phone calls with comment on specific board action items, followed by others as time allows. Each caller has 3 minutes with additional 3 minutes for translation if needed. Please state your name and city of residence for the record. For everyone to better understand the length of each call, we've added a countdown timer to the screen. The timer counts down from 3 minutes. At 30 seconds, it turns from green to yellow. At 1 second, turns red and plays a short bell to signal time is up. There's a new mechanism, so we ask for your understanding. We learn how it works. And please be mindful of your pace for our interpreters. Before we get to callers, we will have our Director of Community Relations and Communications, Sylvia McDaniel, read the summary of written public comment received. As a reminder, all board members received the written comment, which will be posted to the website along with the summary tomorrow. Ms. McDaniel, would you mind reading the summary?
Thank you, Chair Avila, Board Director, Superintendent Perry. We had 18 comments. Some of the respondents commented on several topics together in one submission. The topics were budget committee appointments, masking, allowing visitors and volunteers back in school, superintendent evaluation, SROs, need for diverse books and literature, director resignations, honors courses, BG-11 revision to include second vice chair, and budget allocations and awarding grants. Budget committee appointment, we had several comments supporting Gillis and Million for the budget committee. On the topic of masking, we had several comments wanting masks to be optional, citing reasons why masks do not work or should be a matter of choice. Other comment demands continued masking in schools, citing health issues and that the pandemic is far from over. Allowing visitors and volunteers back in schools, comments support allowing visitors and volunteers back in school. Superintendent evaluation, several comments expressed opinion on the superintendent's evaluation. Several did not support. One expressed appreciation. A couple of asked to look at the process. SRO, a few comments supported SROs back in schools, need for diverse books and literature. A commenter wants history to be taught from all points of view and supports diverse knowledge. Director resignations, comment asked Directors Bethel and Hyen to resign. Removal of honors courses, comment on the shift in honors courses, asking reasoning behind it. BG-11, revision to include second vice chair. Comments do not support addition of a second vice chair, saying it shouldn't be needed. Budget allocations and awarding grants, comments about transparency and information, asking about how grants and budget dollars are awarded to certain groups. And that is our written comments.
Thank you. May we first get the first caller on the line, please?
Yes, our first speaker tonight is Raymond Gutierrez, and he will be joining us by Zoom. Raymond, are you able to unmute and begin?
My name is Ramon, and I won't be giving my last name or my location for fear of targeting and retaliation. For the Budget Committee, I support Joseph Gillis and Laura Million. Because of the targeting and harassment I have endured, I support any Budget Committee person that honestly opposes the approval by the school board and district leadership of certain things that certain groups are doing, and would ask questions and scrutinize the budget to make sure that public dollars are not going directly or indirectly to support these groups. I have already been photographed, targeted, ridiculed, bullied, and harassed by groups trying to exert control over this board and the Budget Committee. Latinos Unidos Siempre, or LUS, with the financial aid and support of the parent organization Mano a Mano, Family Center, are Marxist organizations that pretend to represent all Latino and BIPOC voices. I can tell you for a fact that they do not. And disagreeing with their opinions on whatever the issue of the day is for them does not make me a white supremacist or race traitor. It just means I have different ideas, which is a founding principle of this country. I don't fault them having different ideas. I do, however, place blame directly at their feet and indirectly at this board's feet for their tactics to dox, marginalize, intimidate, and threaten even other Latinos who disagree. We need budget committee members who are willing to look at all sides and not blindly follow an ideology. Those tactics have no place in public discourse, and I would urge the board to vote for budget committee candidates who are willing to hold accountable a superintendent and district leadership that is increasingly more concerned with bowing down to social media mobs and teaching kids the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Being repeatedly featured on libs of TikTok is not a good look on Salem-Keizer public schools. I hope the gross mismanagement in policy and fiscal responsibility by the superintendent will soon result in her no longer being the superintendent. Please do not renew her contract. It's time she retire for real and for good. That will put that much more emphasis on a competent budget committee to make sure our financial resources are managed and invested in bettering our kids for society at large, and not to be the next indoctrinated mindless robots guided by elitist and Marxist religion. Better yet, I would hope that this school board take back the control it has abdicated to the superintendent and treat that role as the employee it is, and not the royalty its current occupant has turned it into. Start in-person meetings again and disavow all activities by groups like LUS and Mano a Mano to instigate security threats, and meetings that they then exploit as supposed bias against them. Engage with them in official capacities instead of back-channel unofficial dealings through inappropriate relationships that are a conflict of interest. Levy. Sorry, something's stuck in my throat. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Our next caller is Stephanie, and she will be joining us by Zoom as well. Stephanie, are you able to unmute?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Stephanie Hensey. I live in Salem, and this is my 15th year teaching in the Salem-Keizer School District. I've looked at the information provided by community members interested in being on the budget committee, and I support Laura Millian and Joseph Gillis. Both of these people have extensive experience working in budget and finance, and they will provide a fresh perspective to the school district's budget process. It's good to have new eyes look at situations, to ask questions that may not be considered by people who are so familiar with the process they would find it easy to fall back into old routines of how things have always been done. Secondly, I know that Superintendent Perry's evaluation is happening now, and I want to encourage the board to please make this process as transparent as possible. As board members, you have the responsibility to look at the direction our superintendent is leading us and to consider the data from all angles. Where has money been spent? What academic support and training has been provided? Which voices are being listened to? Each of you have been elected to speak for thousands of people in our community. You have the task of representing our different perspectives and the opportunity to model respectful dialogue. We need you to lead in this way. Let our voices be heard by listening to one another. To do otherwise is to neglect a key responsibility of the position you have been elected to. Finally, I recently stepped down from my position as an instructional mentor and now work occasionally as a substitute. Let's be honest, our schools are really struggling with student behavior, lack of academic focus, and low staff morale. The direction we are heading is causing this to get even worse. I wrote to Superintendent Perry last spring with some of my concerns, and we wrote back and forth a couple times. Then, when the decision was made to cancel school for a day and require staff to attend a training on implicit bias in February, I wrote again. I never received a reply, so I would like to read part of that email to you now. Instead of committing time, resources, and taxpayer money to uncovering implicit bias and to the continual search for evidence of racism, why can't we return to a focus on the fundamental purpose of education? Teach students to read, to write, to understand and do math, to consider both sides of an argument and think critically so they can draw their own conclusions. Especially after the disruption and chaos of these past 2 years, these skills are where we need to focus. This is our job, our duty to our students and their families. Our job is not to take over the role of parents or tell students what to believe about the controversial issues so prevalent today. Instead, we could present differing perspectives accurately. What an amazing opportunity for Socratic seminars, for authentic academic debates, and learning to disagree respectfully. You wrote in your email, our students need all staff to participate. I would say instead, our students need teachers who are qualified in their subject area and who are continually growing in classroom management skills and in ways to recognize and respond to students' needs. The district could provide targeted resources and training in these areas. Our students need staff to build relationships with them, challenge them to think critically, and hold them to high expectations, even when the students don't like it. Critical thinking, hard work, and perseverance are coveted.
Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate your... Next caller, please.
Our next caller is Juanita. Juanita, are you able to unmute?
My name is Juanita. I'm not giving my last name to keep from being targeted. For the budget nominations, I support Laura Millian and Joseph Gillis. Additionally, I wanted to say it is an indefensible position for the school superintendent and school board to constantly be excluding and marginalizing parents who want to be involved. You treat everyone as if they are absent parents, keeping them out of school, leaving them out of discussions that directly involve their kids, their schools, and the needs that are going sorely ignored to keep the quality of education up. There may be kids that have parents that are too busy working or just plain not involved, and those kids need as much help as they can get, including from other parents that are eager to volunteer, and you are keeping them out. It is flat out discrimination to exclude parents, vaccinated or not, from volunteering at school when there is such a shortage of help for these kids that are already so far behind. You have the power and ability to make exceptions and accommodations, and you're just taking the easy way out. The parents that are here, they want to be involved to help not only their kids, but all kids. We want to help the schools and are sick and tired of being sidelined. Take a look around. The world is moving on, and that only means something if what you did had any real effect to begin with, which is continuing to be questioned and proven unnecessary day after day. But here, Salem-Keizer Public School sits behind the curve in almost every metric that matters, acting as though you're in possession of some special secret information or situation that isn't occurring all over this state and all over this country. The one thing that does appear to be changing, district leadership caving to special interest groups, while the actual parents are trying to have an interaction with the school tasked with acting in loco parentis. The leadership is working to exclude us and insert all of the special interest priorities and talking points in our place. We don't want that. Hear this. They are our kids and we don't want it. A superintendent and a school board shouldn't be too busy to meet with concerned parents who want to engage. You should be encouraging us and other parents to get engaged. What a problem to have. You have parents who want to engage and you're spending more resources to exclude them over the desires of special interest groups. Things have been so mismanaged that it's time for the superintendent to move on. We thank you for your willingness to serve, but it's clear the driving force has moved from teaching kids in the safest and most effective way possible to turning school into political activism thanks to whatever book of the week is on the menu from the Twitterati you listen to over the parents of the kids you're tasked with serving. That is a dereliction of duty and you should be held accountable. The focus is lost. Let's let the people who want to teach kids work on actually teaching kids. Thanks.
Next comment, please.
Caller is Joelle. Joelle, are you able to unmute?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Chair Oliva, Superintendent Perry, the rest of the school board, good evening. I'd like to address the budget committee. I'd like to urge you to vote for Joseph Gills and Laura Millian for budget committee. I believe there should be no one on the budget committee who works for or is on the board of an organization that benefits from the decisions made by the budget committee. That is a clear conflict of interest and goes against Salem-Keizer policy. I believe Joseph and Laura will represent the interests of the parents and the community well and take a fair look at budget issues. I urge you to vote for them. I would also like to thank you for finally following the science and making masks a choice in school. You have an opportunity to lead with facts, not fear, and help these students understand the reasons why now is the time to unmask, or at least give students a choice. I hope that you take that opportunity to be leaders in this and not squander it as you have with other opportunities via Black Lives Matter and things like that. I want to remind the board and Superintendent Perry that there have been parents who have not had a choice, like us, who we have a son whose doctor turned in a medical exemption that was denied by the district. We had a choice to choose his mental health by sending him to school to be around his peers, or choose his physical health and risk an infection of his heart valve by wearing a mask every day for 8 hours. That is a tough decision as parents, and one that we did not take lightly. I want to encourage you to keep masking a choice. It concerns me deeply that Superintendent Perry said that we could be ping-ponging back and forth on this. This has not been a choice for quite a while, and it needs to be. It's very important. It's important for the students' mental health. Our suicides are way up in this county and quite frankly, across our state. This needs to stay a choice for students. I've had my son serve in-school detention and another son kicked out of high school altogether for not masking. I'd also like you to lift the vax mandate for volunteers. To this point, Superintendent Perry's report said that exemptions are accepted for volunteers. I know no one who's had their exemption accepted. I'd like very clear guidance on how to get your exemption accepted. I volunteered to help serve a meal to the football team this fall and was asked for my vax status in order to be able to serve a meal outside to my own child. This is crazy. The school needs help. It needs people. And we are here trying to help you, and you are turning us away due to a vaccine that has been proven over and over again that it is less than effective. Plus, you are not taking the fact that people have had COVID into consideration.
Thank you, Joel. I appreciate your comments. Next caller, please.
Our next caller is Angelique. Angelique, are you able to unmute? Star 6 to unmute, Angelique.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hello, my name is Angelique, and I refuse to say any more information about myself due to the fact that there are white supremacists on the school board and watching this meeting. I'm giving public testimony again today because of how oppressive the school board continues to be. Last year, we elected 4 new members to this board because we needed to get white supremacy out of the school district. We thought by replacing Paul Kylo, Jesse Lippold, Kathy Goss, and Sharon Blassie that we would see better changes in this district. That by electing 4 quote-unquote progressive candidates, we would have people advocating for the well-being of our students. Yet here we are, back in the same place as before. We have Osvaldo, Karina, Maria, and Ashley, who all have done nothing to advocate for the continuation of masks in our schools. They believe that the pandemic is coming to an end and that optional masking does something to protect students from vulnerable communities. They keep talking about science and what current recommendations are, yet science even tells us that masks do not work unless the majority of the population wears them. Osvaldo, Karina, Maria, and Ashley do not care about science or protecting marginalized students in the Salem-Keizer School District. They care about their personal reputations. They care about how they look to the other side. They care about not getting as much criticism from racist, anti-maskers, and anti-vaxxers. Some people believe that this school board works directly with us, that they follow everything that we demand. I want you to see how completely false that is. This school board would rather let marginalized students contract COVID-19 than stand up for them. This school board would rather ignore that hardly any students in this district have the COVID-19 vaccine than look at the real facts. This school board would rather take the risk associated with a quote-unquote endemic than make a few privileged anti-maskers upset. They will say that the choice of masking was not theirs to make, but notice how they have not actually made any statements in support of masking either. Notice how they sit in their school board chairs, proud of the fact that students' health will be compromised because of this. It isn't injustice, it is white supremacy. If you're getting congratulations from white supremacists, it's clear that you're doing something wrong. And let me repeat that. If you're getting congratulations from white supremacists, it's clear that you're doing something wrong. This goes for the school board and Christy Perry. If you claim to be anti-racist, then do the real work and support the continuation of masking in schools. Do not let students of color and low-income students contract a virus that their households financially cannot handle. This community, comprised of low-income, Black, brown, Indigenous, and other people of color, elected you. Do your job and support the interests of those that you claim to represent. This includes not only masking, but opposing tax amendments for projects that do not benefit us and reinvesting the entirety of the $1 million that was previously invested into additional security.
Thank you. Jordan, next caller, please.
Yes, our next caller is Cindy. Cindy, are you able to press *6 to unmute?
Yes, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, so I'm here to support the demands of Latinos Unidos Siempre. Number one demand, first off, school board members must recommend that all 1 million SRO funds be invested into the education of students and out of systemic policing. You all have already used up $600,000 of the 1 million SRO funds that BIPOC youth fought for over a year, and have put it into further policing of BIPOC students. So I demand you that if you're anti-racist, to support in recommending all $1 million and even more money into BIPOC students. And then demand two, we demand that school board members must recommend that masking continues in the Salem-Keizer School District, as a majority of the students have not been vaccinated. There has been this narrative of an endemic, that there's no such thing as an endemic when people in BIPOC communities and lower income communities are still dying of COVID. Demand three, we support accessible, unlimited public comment. Alt-right white supremacists and military groups have hijacked school board meetings around the nation, and this has and students' ability to provide public comment. With the school board policies that limit time, our school board and district have failed to prioritize the safety of students from these groups. And demand four, we demand that white supremacists Daniel Bethel and Marty Haynes must resign from the school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Jordan, next caller, please.
Our next caller is Roberto. Roberto, are you able to press *6 and unmute?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Tlazoltecan y yo niego que dar más información por la presencia de la supremacía blanca, no solamente aquí en esta junta, pero en todo Salem-Keizer. La razón por qué yo estoy hablando mi testimonio en español es porque yo quiero hablar directamente a los líderes de este distrito que fueron votados por la comunidad para hacer cambios en este distrito, juzgándolos por su inacción, o mejor dicho, su acción de lastimar nuestra comunidad de color severamente. Yo diría que es intencional. ¿Por qué siguen haciendo decisiones que no tienen sentido común? Especialmente cuando ustedes saben que no son decisiones correctas para nuestros estudiantes y para todos los miembros de la comunidad. Seguidamente ustedes hacen decisiones que no solamente ponen nuestras comunidades en peligro, pero son orgullosos de sus decisiones. ¿Qué razón hay cuando ustedes saben que no están haciendo lo correcto moralmente, pero todavía lo hacen? Yo pensé que ustedes iban a cambiar este sistema, pero cada mes que yo regreso a esta junta, se parecen más y más a los miembros de esta mesa directiva que hacen decisiones intencionalmente para lastimar nuestras comunidades, también conocidos como los supremacistas blancas, que se dejan comprar porque tienen intereses de poder, al costo del pueblo. Ustedes no están haciendo los pasos correctos que la comunidad los están pidiendo, hasta exigiendo de mi parte, pero creo que ustedes les quieren decir que no tienen poder. ¿Por qué creen que yo estoy aquí llamando? Para recordarlos que ustedes sí se sientan sobre las espaldas de la comunidad para estar en la mesa directiva de este distrito escolar. Yo diría que ustedes han perdido la confianza de la comunidad que ustedes declaran de representar. Pero hay formas de mejorar esta posición. Número 1, cancela el trato hecho con la seguridad privada y mueve esos $600,000 con los $400,000 adicionales para servicios para ayudar la salud mental de nuestros estudiantes, clases de educación étnica, apoyo para actividades después de la escuela y mucho más que la comunidad ha exigido. Número 2, sigan con las cubrebocas en las escuelas. Aunque ustedes han hecho una decisión de hacer las cubrebocas opcional, exijo que retrasen de esta decisión y hagan las cubrebocas obligatorios. Número 3, que dejen que el comentario público sea sin límite. No que ustedes quieren escuchar a la comunidad o nada más fueron palabras vacías y vanas. Hagan el comentario público sin límites. Número 4, apoyen a la comunidad para que digan a Daniel Beto y Mary que renuncien de sus...
Gracias, Roberto. Jordan, next caller, please.
Our next caller is Marie. Marie, are you able to unmute? *6 to unmute.
Hi, my name is Abigail Marie, and I will not be saying anything more about myself. I wanted to say I support Laura Million and Joseph Gillis for the Budget Committee. I do not believe anybody should be on the Budget Committee that has ties to the district that would possibly bring about a conflict of interest. As far as Superintendent Perry's performance, I wanted to make some comments. Last year, my daughter fell so far behind because of school closures that she is repeating first grade. This means that she's no longer in the grade that her neighbors are in and her friends. Teachers last year were teaching TikTok dances for music lessons, which is incredibly unacceptable, as well as reading books that teach children to hate the color of their skin. My child came home crying one day because she has white skin, and she was only 6 years old at the time. She's just as Mexican as I am, whether the school board believes in genetics or not. Both Christy Perry and Chair Avila need to resign and publicly apologize to the thousands of students they are actively harming and to the parents that they have shown gross indifference and prejudice to. Please check your own privilege. I would like to give the chair a definition of a word from the Webster's Dictionary that clearly the district does not understand. Participate. To take part, to have a part or share in something, the action of taking part in something, the act of taking part in an event or activity. Action means that you are actively a part, not sitting at home unaware of what your child is doing for 6 to 8 hours under the care of the school. Actively participating means walking your child to class, stuffing folders for the teacher, attending school plays, helping restock the library, monitoring recess, etc., etc., etc. You may think that you have some legal authority to deny parents with a religious exemption to volunteer in their own children's school, but I question that you even understand what the word legal means if you can't understand what the word participate means. Please stop discriminating against parents with religious exemptions and reinstate volunteers. Please deal with your own prejudice and trauma that causes you to treat parents with such contempt and disrespect. End the noble victimhood complex. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abigail. Next caller, Jordan.
Our next caller is Sandra. Sandra, you may begin.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sandra, and I'm a community member. I work with young people in this community that attend Salem-Keizer School District, and for the past year, we have been demanding that $1 million of SRO funds be reinvested into the education of students and out of systemic policing. Despite of this demand, and after the hard work of students who pushed for the $1 million to be freed, Superintendent Christy Perry decided to invest $600,000 of this $1 million SRO funds into security specialists. So I hope that the school board actually recommends their employee, Superintendent Christy Perry, that all this money be reinvested for the next school board year. Secondly, I would like to demand that the school board members recommend that masking continues in Salem-Keizer School District because despite of what has been said in this past hour, Marion County is still one of the highest counties with the highest levels of COVID. And I hope that you all take this into consideration as anti-masking sentiment is completely ableist and also racist, as the majority of people who are dying from COVID are people of color and people with disabilities. Thirdly, I would like to advocate for accessible, unlimited public comment. This is something that people of color have been advocating for the past 2 years. And ever since white supremacists and alt-right wing community members have been hijacking the school board meetings, we have been unable to get our community's sentiment and experiences across. And finally, I would like to ask that Daniel Bethel and Marty Hyan resign from the school board, as they have played a key role in anti-masking organizing and also have made public bigoted comments and have ties to paramilitary groups that target BIPOC communities across the country.
Thank you, Sandra. Jordan, next caller, please.
Yes, our next caller is Julissa. Julissa, are you able to press *6 and unmute?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Julissa Rodriguez, and I'm an educator in the district. My call is in response first to the elementary report. I heard now a few board meetings ago, a board member was talking negatively about the school cultures in our schools based on the Panorama survey, and those results were based on the fall scores. And anybody who's actually been in a classroom or a teacher themselves or an IA knows that in the fall is when we have to be more strict with our students, because that's when we're setting the routines and all that. So the Panorama surveys in the fall are always way lower. So if you look at the spring results that were on your guys' papers that you guys received today, it shows they're way higher. So please look at that and actually realize how schools are. Secondly, I want to talk about the EBCBM and I-Ready scores. I'm not too sure if it was discussed, the results of it, but being in the classroom with not having enough help, we don't have enough IAs, we don't have enough time. It's really hard to get students to those grade levels because those scores are based on pre-COVID levels. Second, with that, the district really needs to invest time in teaching vocabulary, because that affects a lot with the EBCBM vocabulary scores along with math. So if we teach them the Greek roots along with affixes, that would greatly improve the reading comprehension and math scores. Continuing, this is a plea to reinvest the SRO funds into our schools. The youth that called in and did a lot of the heavy lifting over the multiple generations and decades to get that removed, didn't just do it so that we could have different types of militarized security there. It does not feel good to be a student and have been consistently monitored. I've been in those shoes. It does not feel good. So please reinvest those funds into our students. They desperately need counselors. They desperately need therapists. They need to be able to see themselves in their teachers and in the curriculum that is taught. Teaching a thorough history of our country is very important so that we are having well-rounded students. Also teaching and giving them classes that are going to be beneficial to them in their adult life. And also please just consistently advocate for our students and actually have teachers hopefully have masks on. It's very important that we are wearing masks for our students, because a lot of our students are low income. They're going back home to their grandparents. We have multiple generation homes in the BIPOC community. So us not wearing masks is very, very selfish. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan, next caller.
Yes, our next speaker will be joining by Zoom. Gracia, are you able to unmute?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Gracia.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, members of the board. I am Gracia Gomez, a very active member of the community and student here in Salem. In the past recent meetings, I have seen and heard concerned parents who are demanding to ban certain books because they contain racial and LGBT concepts in our schools. One of the books that was advocated to get banned recently was Stand for Kids, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You by Ram X. Kennedy and Jason Reynolds, a book that's about competing ideas on how race has evolved in our nation from the colonial period to the present. These amazing, well-educated authors present these ideas in relatable, young, person-friendly ways and discuss the conflicts between people who write about them, embody them, and act on them. It is very important nowadays that our students are able to access books similar to this one, so they're very aware of how history accurately in order to learn from it. Not only will our students grow and understand these concepts, but teachers will be able to know how to have these conversations with our kids accordingly. Banning these books because they tell the truth about minority groups of people that have faced and gone through just to live here and help build this country is also a form of censorship. Censoring these books is a real form of discrimination for BIPOC and LGBT plus community. Limiting the selection of books in our students' library limits their critical thinking, learning, and expanding what they know. Okay, sorry. If we get rid of these books, we are also getting rid of diversity in our community, which is what we have worked so hard for. In our district, over 40% of students belong to a minority group. These students will not be getting the accurate representation they need. Our students and minority groups will not have books that they can see themselves in, and our schools will just lack representation for anyone who is part of that minority group and just set us back another 70 years. It is important that we do not get rid of books with such diverse concepts. If they are in a library, it is for a reason. Students need to see themselves and their culture and books to feel welcome and included and feel that they do belong in our schools and our nation. So students have the opportunity to get the enlightening and acknowledge the true history of America while learning from it and about themselves even more. So board members, I'm here to remind you of what is truly important for our students and a real issue we are now facing, that there has to be books of all concepts for our students to learn from. And let's not censor students' thinking nor silence them, since they are the future and we rely on them. They're the future. Thank you guys for your time. Have a good day, or good night, actually.
Thank you, Gracia. Jordan, next comment?
Yes, our next caller is Medicella. Are you able to? Yep, awesome.
Buenas noches, miembros de la mesa directiva escolar y Superintendente Perry. Mi nombre es Marisela Lagos y soy la coordinadora del grupo de liderazgo de los padres y madres de la Coalición para Igualdad de Salem-Keizer. Siempre le hemos pedido al distrito más y mejores programas para ayudar a nuestros hijos a tener éxito en la lectura, escritura y matemáticas. Este año lo necesitamos más que nunca. Nos hemos comprometido durante 22 años a ayudar a nuestros hijos a tener éxito, ayudando a nuestros padres latinos a involucrarse en la educación de sus hijos. Estamos convencidos que los padres son los primeros maestros, siempre con el sueño de que nuestros hijos estén a nivel de grado desde kinder hasta la graduación de la preparatoria. Este año les pedimos que priorice el presupuesto escolar para programas que ayuden a nuestros niños a estar a nivel de su grado en lectura, escritura y matemáticas. Y también para abordar la salud mental de los estudiantes y la seguridad de nuestros 17,000 estudiantes latinos. Juntos, padres, maestros y estudiantes, eliminaremos las brechas académicas. Gracias.
Good evening, members of the school board and Superintendent Perry. My name is Marisela Lagos, and I am the coordinator of the Parent Leadership Group of Fathers and Mothers of the Salem-Keizer Coalition for Equality. We have always asked the district for more and better programs to help our children succeed in reading, writing, and math. This year, they need it more than ever before. We have been committed for 22 years to helping our children succeed by helping our Latino parents get involved in the education of their children. We are convinced that parents are the first teachers, always with the dream that our children are on the grade level from kindergarten to graduation from high school. This year, we ask that you prioritize the school budget for programs that help our children to be on grade level in reading, writing, and mathematics. And also for addressing students' mental health and safety of our 17,000 Latino students. Together, parents, teachers, and students, let's eliminate the academic gaps. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan, next caller.
Yes, our next caller is Alex. Alex, *6 to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Alex, and that's the further information I would be giving due to the white supremacists on the board and the viewers. I want to start off by saying, the mask mandate going down is a huge factor to the community, especially those who are vulnerable. In this pandemic that have been in the start of this pandemic, it's important to put those people in front, especially when making decisions like this. I kind of want to speak on how the district has done to support those students, teachers, and what they have done wrong. I think you guys are praising yourselves too much to even think about that you guys did good during a pandemic. You failed us as students, as teachers, and you're failing us right now. And I think it's important to let that sink in. It's the harm that you are causing right now is something that's not, it's not okay. Our students are hurting, especially those who are vulnerable during this pandemic, the students of color who are being ignored and targeted by the white supremacists on the board, and as well as those in the community. I just want to say, we're done. The school board members who were the 4 new school board members who were elected have failed us as the BIPOC students. You're there to represent us as students, as teachers, as parents and families. But what we've seen you all done was just fail us over and over and over again. You're making yourself look not any less than the white supremacists already sitting on this board. And I think it's important to let that sink in as well. Our students are being harmed by these folks here who are speaking and putting those youth down for the work that they do. You guys just look like clowns. I'm speaking to those who are speaking today, who have spoke against and the organizations and stuff like that as well. You do look like a clown, trying to fight with BIPOC youth.
Alex, I'm going to have to interrupt you. Please don't talk about individual people. They can talk about organizations. And I've said that before, so go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about organization. I'm talking about overall. I wasn't bringing up individual names, but okay. I'm going to further go on to talk about the reinvestments. It's important that you listen to the BIPOC youth who have been coming to the school board since 2017 and asking for reinvestment. We're done and tired. There's no more waiting. Our investments that we fought for and that we got are now being used for more securities in our schools. Y'all are causing more harm. It's not okay. We're done with the harm being caused. It ends now and it ends forever. Our students have been hurting for way too long. Our teachers have been hurting for way too long.
Thank you. We're going to extend our public comment for just a little bit longer and get the remaining 4 individuals through.
Our next speaker is Tara, and Tara will be joining by Zoom. Tara, are you able to unmute?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, school board members and staff. I appreciate your service and time this evening. My name is Tara Knott. I live in Salem. You may know me as a leader of my union, but I'm speaking tonight only for myself and for my family. I am a mom of a Salem-Keizer kindergarten student, and my husband and I both work for the district. I have 10 years of service with the district. I have 2 points to share. First, it's so important to my family that the community is aware of the many of us that are severely immunocompromised. COVID-19 is still very deadly for me personally, and my healthcare team can't work fast enough to protect me and my family. For example, I just received the monoclonal antibodies this morning. My family and others like us must keep wearing masks in public places. My daughter still has a right to public education and the experiences and social emotional growth that come along with in-person learning, especially since the district just lifted the mask restrictions on March 12th. We want to build public awareness and understanding for the students and staff who will be masking and for other families like ours. Please encourage people to support the kids and staff that mask. My biggest fear is that people don't realize how important it is for some students and staff to keep wearing masks. I urge everyone in the district to create a culture where kids and families are supported and feel safe. Thank you for proceeding with caution and protecting our children and families. On another topic, I want to thank Superintendent Parry and the school board for taking a stance on anti-racism, for your proclamations, for staff professional development, and to encourage the continued education of our staff and students. I am thankful that we are taking the first steps, but we have a really long way to go. Additionally, I want to encourage the district to hear what our local youth and organizations are saying, our youth are saying, have them better involved in conversations and decision making, and prioritize the budget for next year on this important initiative. It will help all of our children to have an inclusive, positive environment. I'll send you a copy of my testimony as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tara. Jordan?
Yes, our last caller tonight is Anna Olivia.
Hi.
Hi, Anna Olivia.
Hi, this is Anna Olivia. Hi. Good evening, Chair, Board of Directors, and Superintendent. Tonight, I want to share with you about the challenges we're facing with student and staff behaviors and their needs for multi-tiered systems of support and access to mental health care. I know we are all in agreement that our students and families and staff have all faced many traumas over the last 2 years. What we are seeing right now in schools with behavior is difficult. Salem-Keizer is not alone. These problems are nationwide. I'm not here to criticize because I know that students and staff are overwhelmed and anxious, which triggers fight or flight responses. Parents are very worried for the safety of the children, and many are afraid to come forward. Every time I hear of an incident at a school, I have a lot of questions. I'm a problem solver, so I ask myself questions. I wonder how much training the staff has had, how much support they're getting from the district. I wonder how well principals are leading and supporting their teams, and how well they are communicating with parents in a timely manner. And I wonder how many students don't feel they belong. In our current environment, I don't expect even the best team to be able to prevent every incident, but I am most concerned about how the incidents are being handled right now and how consistently with our policies across the district. Are we doing everything we can, and are we using every resource effectively to assist and support both students and staff? They need to experience effective interventions and responsiveness. They need the opportunity to practice skills of de-escalation and restorative practices. And timely communication with parents needs to be continually improved. I urge you not to let money be an obstacle in the budget this year, to focus on the top priorities that research shows have the greatest impact. Research overwhelmingly shows that students and teachers perform better when stress and anxiety are reduced, mental health needs are met, and children and adults feel supported and safe. I worry because everyone everywhere is so worried about reading and math achievement that they are afraid to put mental and emotional needs at the top of the list. Keep your eyes on the long view and prioritize mental health, which encompasses emotional, social, cognitive, and behavioral functioning. These are central to strengthening families and building school cultures where every student and all who serve them belong and thrive. This is what will lead to excellent academic scores in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm going to call on Assistant Superintendent Olga Cobb, see if she can provide a summary of the translation that was said in Spanish into English.
Yes, absolutely. I took some notes. The person, Roberto, was started by saying that he wanted to speak in Spanish because he wanted to speak directly to the board members elected that speak Spanish. He was asking specifically about decisions that have been made that risk marginalized populations and populations that need the most supports. I took note of some of his words. He said, I thought you were changing things, but month after month, I come and I see you turning into the others and adopt the behaviors of others. Why do you think I am calling? Because I want to remind you who you represent. I have 4 requests for you, and I took some notes on those 4 requests. The first one was to cancel the agreements with private security organizations. The second one was, please invest those funds. He talked about $600,000 in mental health resources for students. Number 2 was to continue with face masks. He demanded that this continues because of safety for students and marginalized communities. Number 3 was to allow more time for public comment, that public comment didn't have a limit on time. And then number 4 was continued support for the community, and this is when his time ran out. So this is just a summary. I took notes as fast as I could. So that's a summary of his intervention.
Thank you for that, Assistant Superintendent Olga. I do apologize to everybody and Roberto for the oversight and not providing that interpretation and following immediately his testimony. Well, thank you very much. Again, we want to continue to encourage everybody that they continue to provide comment or email all board directors, making sure that all board, those who are writing to the board, utilize everybody's official names and titles when writing, especially around emails. Some emails don't come through if they're only provided using one last name of some of our board members who have 2 last names. So moving on to action item number 7 is to appoint 2 committee members to the Budget Committee. The Budget Committee is a 14-member committee consisting of our 7 board members and 7 committee members appointed by the board. Committee members currently include Jacqueline Betchel, Barbara Gill, Lisa Harnish, Levi Herrera Lopez, Oni Marchbanks, and tonight we will appoint 2 additional committee members to the committee. We have 5 candidates for the 2 positions for terms to expire June 30th, 2024. Stephen Boston, Joseph Gills, Rick Kimball, Nancy McMorris Addis, and Laura Million. I believe several of them have joined us via Zoom tonight. Welcome. And let's see, I'll call on Budget Committee candidates to provide a statement. And either I or Vice Chair Carson Cunningham will read any written statements aloud. We ask candidates to respond to the following question. How will you advocate for all students as part of the Budget Committee? Mr. Boston, Stephen Boston, provided a written statement, and I'll go ahead and read that. His response: as a lifelong educator, I recognize that the graduation rate is the standard that most citizens recognize as a school district success. We must continue to do an excellent job in educating college-bound students, as they are the majority of our graduates. As a district, we must put more focus on educating the students who are career and technical education bound. As a member of the district budget committee, I'd be very attentive to expanding our offerings to students who are career and technical education bound, and thus improving our graduation rate. When every student can find a path in our schools to their post-secondary success, then we will be advocates for all students. And that ends his written statement. Next up is Joseph Gillis, and I believe he is joining us via Zoom.
I am indeed. Well, thank you to the board for your consideration for the budget committee and the time to speak tonight. I enjoy volunteering in the community as well as budgeting in general and have a passion for education. If selected for the budget committee, I would simply use the position to help form a thoughtful, balanced budget that meets the needs of students and staff across the district, considering both near-term and long-term needs. I don't have additional agendas behind that, nor do I have any of the details of the budget to elaborate on currently. So I look forward to your decision and hopefully contributing to the budgeting process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Rick Kimball, who is also joining us by Zoom.
Good evening, Chair Avila, Vice Chair Carson Cunningham, Board Directors, and Superintendent Perry. My name is Rick Kimball. I've lived in the district area for 28 plus years, worked in the food industry for 43 years, most recently for the Truett Brothers and Truett Family Foods, which I've retired from. I have served 12 years previously on the school board, from 2005 to 2017, which means I sat on the budget committee for 12 years. We looked at budgets that were plus budgets where the district was able to grow, and we looked at budgets where we had to shrink, some rather difficult budgets, and we had to consider a lot of things during those discussions. I think I can bring that background to the committee. When I joined the board in 2005, we also had 4 brand new school board members on that board. And it was nice to have some citizens on the budget committee who had some experience with the budgeting process. What would I focus on, or how will I advocate for all the kids? I will focus on the school board's policy and governance, or on district student achievement, where kids can progress every day. All kids graduate. And the second thing I want to focus on is your equity lens. And I want to read a statement out of that because I think it's important as this budget. Yeah, am I over time?
Yes, sir. I apologize, okay. But we want 1 to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Next up, we are going to welcome back Nancy McMorris-Addix.
Hi, Chair Avila, Vice Chair Carson Cottingham, members of the board. As you know, my name is Nancy McMorris-Addix. I thank you for giving me this chance to speak. I'm interested in serving on the budget committee because I have experience with the process from my 8 years on school board. I've served in tough years with enormous cuts and a few with small additions. I understand that the budget needs to reflect the goals of the district and the needs of its students and present a funding plan to achieve those goals. If appointed, I will advocate for the goals of the district being borne out in the budget. Thanks for the opportunity to address you tonight.
Thank you, Nancy, appreciate that. I see our chair. Ashley, did you happen to pull up
I can read
our last? Thank you, I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So this is from the applicant or candidate, Lara Million. Good evening, Chair Avila, board members, and Superintendent Perry. Thank you for the opportunity to make a brief statement about my interest in the Budget Committee volunteer position. You've posed the question, how will you advocate for all students as part of the Budget Committee, with the emphasis on all? This is an excellent question that deserves a thoughtful response. To advocate for our large and diverse student population requires an open mind, willing to listen to various ideas, concerns, issues, and barriers to success. Biases and preconceived notions need
to be set aside, and you must put yourself in a person's or group's shoes to understand the challenges they face. I've been following and participating in the monthly board meetings for the last year. I've heard the concerns of parents, caregivers, students, and teachers. I've read the reports compiled by staff presented to the board by Superintendent Parrish on a range of topics, including students' sense of belonging, behavioral issues, and some very inspiring spotlights. If approved as a volunteer, I will continue to attend public meetings and, as allowed, reach out to students, stakeholders, and school staff to better understand student needs and the accompanying resources required so that I may be a voice at the table for them. Advocating will also involve research on my part, which I will gladly take upon myself to complete. I understand that budgets for public entities are multifaceted and complex, with various funding sources, statutory requirements, and labor contracts to consider. My first step would be to identify what resources or funding is available to implement programs that support students' interests and strengths. How are these discretionary funds allocated and who are the decision makers? What programs are currently in place? Are the programs inclusive of all students? Do they follow the current policies as set forth by the board? What is the success rate of the programs? I would pose all these questions and more to help develop my breadth of knowledge and apply it to advocate for resources to be applied that meet the needs of our student population. In closing, our public schools should be inclusive learning sites that provide academic, social, and mental support. My goal is to make decisions and positive changes in the best interests of all students that creates an environment that instills a lifelong desire to learn. I hope you'll consider me for the position, and thank you for your consideration and time.
And I apologize. I misread our statement, and I believe Laura Millian is online. Laura, so if you're still on, would you like to just pop on and say hello?
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, thank you. I just want to, appreciate the opportunity, and you did a very good job reading my statement. I appreciate that, better than I could have done. And thanks again for the opportunity. That's all I have to say right now. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And again, I apologize for misreading it.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks.
Okay. So as a reminder, board directors to have a paper and marker ready to write names of candidates that will show up when you hold up your vote onto the screen. I will now turn this process over to Mr. Dikopoulos, attorney for the district. Mr. Dikopoulos will give instructions on how many and who to vote for on each round. Mr. Dikopoulos.
Well, thank you, Chair Avila. I won't tell you who to vote for, but you do need to vote for 2 of the 5 candidates. And please write your names, the names of the candidates that you choose large enough so that when I ask you to hold up your card, I'm actually able to read them. It takes 4 votes to elect a candidate, and if in the first round 2 candidates are selected with 4 votes, then the election is complete. If we don't have 4 votes for 1 or 2 candidates, we'll have a second round. If there's a candidate that has not received any votes in a second round, they'll be dropped from they'll be dropped in that round for the I encourage you to write large enough in your 2 choices for votes, and when everyone's done, I'll call on you and ask for your vote, to ask you to hold up your card so I can read who you've written on your card. Any questions?
Yes, Director Hyan has a question.
Well, I was just curious, were we going to have any discussion, or are we just going to go right into voting?
It's up to the board chair. That's not my part.
I wasn't preparing for any type of discussion. I think a vote. We received their information. We invited them to apply and share, answer their questions. So I don't see the relevance of a discussion? Mr. Dukopoulos?
Well, this is not my decision.
Let's move forward.
So please put your the candidates that you want to vote for on your cards. Is everyone ready? Okay, just starting on my screen with who is at the top. Director Chandra Giri, can you hold up your card? It's not, you'll probably just have to tell me who you voted for because it's not in dark enough ink for me to see.
I voted for Mr. Joseph Gillis and Mrs. Lara Million.
Thank you. Next on my screen is Director Bethel. Could you hold that up again, please?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it anyway because the tiny writing. I voted for Mr. Gillis and Mrs. Million.
Okay, thank you. And next is Vice Chair Ashley Carson Cunningham. McMorris Addix and Kimball. Next is Director Guzman Ortiz. McMorris, Addix, and Kimball. Next is Director Hyen. No, that's too blurry. Can you just tell me what you wrote there?
Yeah, Laura and Joseph, because I want people that haven't done this before.
Tell me again, please.
Laura and Joseph.
Okay, thank you. And Chair Avila. But the paper idea obviously isn't working very well. Who did you write on your paper? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I have Nancy and Rick.
And last, Director Hinojos Pressy.
Miss Morris Addix and Miss Million.
Okay, so we have a successful election. 4 votes for Nancy McMorris Addix and 4 votes for Laura Million. Congratulations to you both.
Yes, congratulations to everybody. Thank you for applying to sit on the budget committee. We appreciate it. And congratulations to Laura and Nancy. Director Hyen, you had a question? You had your hand up? No? Okay. Okay. So let's move forward to our next agenda item, which brings us to our consent calendar. And I'll ask our Superintendent Perry to review these items.
Chair, you added a 7B.
Oh, that's right. My apologies. Let me pull that back up. Agenda modification, 7B. Oh, and I lost it. Okay. Can I get a little help here, Alice?
Chair Avila, would you like me to pull it up? I have it prepared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
Yep. He's got both the board plate and the resolution ready to put on the screen.
Do we want to take a quick little break while we get this prepared? Yeah, let's do a 5-minute break real fast, and I'll stay here with.
I have it ready real quick. Give me like 10 seconds, unless people probably need a break. So let's go ahead and
yeah, we'll call it a break. I'll stay here with you.
Okay, great.
So going back, starting with the item number 7B, which we added as agenda modification. This is adoption of modified resolution 202122-11. Request from City of Salem, request to the Salem-Keizer taxing district. I'll ask Superintendent Christy Perry for a review, and then I'll let Vice Chair Carson Cottingham to take over.
All right. As a reminder, or maybe people don't know yet, we do have guests on the line for this item if there's any questions that need to be answered. Our interim city manager is here, Kristen Rutherford, and also the developer is here as well. And so if there's questions that can't be answered, they're here to help us. This is the second reading for the tax exemption. You saw it once, and then it's been held while board leadership has been working with the developer. This is a modified resolution that Paul DeCopolis has put together for you today that is not a 10-year, but is a request for the city to consider a 5-year tax exemption. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Vice Chair Carson Cottingham and to see if she'd like to add information from her work on this.
Thank you, Superintendent Perry. I think you did a great review. We had this item come before us. We had the first reading on February 8th. And then we've had several meetings with Mr. Deacon, who's joined us. Thanks for coming tonight. And so this action item comes before the board at our request. And I can go ahead and read through the modified resolution. If people would like it read out loud, I can go ahead and do that now, if that works.
Chair Carson Cottingham, would you like me to display it on the screen as well?
Sure. Thank you.
Also, for the public that's watching, we do have this posted with the agenda packet on the website. We had a couple additional items. They are listed on the website tonight for people to look at.
I would just add before I read that we really appreciated the time and energy spent with the city of Salem, and then we've met several times with Steve Deacon and Ian from his team to talk through a lot of the details around this project and our larger policy concerns around housing for low-income folks in the city of Salem and our larger community. So we just really appreciate them engaging in that conversation. And this resolution reflects kind of where we've landed as of today for consideration. And we hope to continue the conversation with the city of Salem and Mr. Deacon moving forward. Whereas ORS 307.6061 provides that a tax exemption approved under a multi-unit housing tax incentive program only applies to the tax levy of a city or county that adopts the provisions of ORS 307.600 to 307.637, except that the tax exemption shall apply to the ad valorem property taxes of all taxing districts when upon the request of the city or county that has adopted the provisions of ORS 307.600 to 307.637, the rates of ad valorem taxation of taxing districts whose governing boards agree by resolution to the policy of providing tax exemptions for multiple unit housing as provided in ORS 307.600 to 307.637, when combined with the rate of taxation of the city or county that adopts the provisions. I'll just stop reading the ORS. I think we get it at this point. Equal 51% or more of the total combined rate of taxation levied on the property, which is tax exempt under the statute. And whereas the Council of the City of Salem has adopted resolution number 2021-46, approving the applicant's DD Salem Center 2 LLC application for tax exemption under the multiple unit housing tax incentive program, the MUTIP program. And whereas the City of Salem has officially requested that the Salem-Keizer School District Board of Education agree by resolution with the policies established in the City of Salem's program. And whereas the Salem-Keizer School District Board of Directors does not support the City of Salem's request to approve the applicant's DD Salem Center 2 LLC application for a 10-year tax exemption under the MUTIP program. And whereas the Salem-Keizer School District Board of Directors encourages the applicant to withdraw or amend its current application for a 10-year tax exemption under the MUTIP and resubmit an application for a 5-year tax exemption under the program. And whereas the Salem-Keizer School District Board of Directors encourages the City of Salem to modify its adopted resolution number 2021-46 to approve the applicant's revised application for a 5-year tax exemption under the multiple unit housing tax incentive program. And whereas the Board of Directors of the Salem-Keizer School District supports a 5-year tax exemption for the applicant under the City of Salem's program, if and when such an application were to be presented to the Board of Directors for approval. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Salem-Keizer School District Board of Directors, 1, does not approve the City of Salem's request for a 10-year tax exemption for the applicant under its program as set forth in resolution number 2021-46. 2, encourages the applicant to submit a new or amended application under the City of Salem's multiple unit housing tax incentive program requesting a 5-year tax exemption. 3, request that the City of Salem approve by resolution applicant's new or amended application under the multiple unit housing tax incentive program, allowing a 5-year tax exemption. And 4, confirms that it will approve the City of Salem's future request for approval of a 5-year tax exemption for applicant for the project described in the City of Salem's resolution number 2021-46.
So thank you very much for that. Now we'll just take a discussion, motion for to approve. Yes, Director Chandigiri.
You are muted, Dr. Chandragiri.
Yeah.
Since you asked for a motion to approve this, I move that we approve this as read.
Director Chandigiri motions that we approve this resolution. Do I have a second? I see no second. Oh, there we go. Director Hyen seconds the motion. Discussion. Yes, Director Chandigiri.
Yeah, this topic has come up many times, and I would like our fellow board members to please consider this and support this. This is a best negotiated position of 5 years as opposed to 10 years. Salem does not have any high tech or manufacturing place, etc., to attract people to come in. Our cost of housing is either very high, and we are one of the top segregated cities in the nation. We are supposed to be one in top 10. So we need a middle income bracket housing, multi-house, unit housing for professionals, teachers, and others to also find a place. Otherwise, we will end up becoming like San Francisco, where people have to take a BART and go several miles away. Portland has lost nearly 7,000 student enrollment because it's become almost like high end or no, there's nothing in between. And indirectly, it is going to harm the total budget of the Portland Public School. We have families, because it is they don't have middle income teachers, etc. They are living in state and in other places, and some are even going further to Mill City and commuting to work in Salem. So it is, even though I wish to see very low income housing, it really requires a change in the policy and structural barriers that our city of Salem and us should be sitting down and talking about it. It is nice to say we want a mixed, moderate income and a low income in one location. But until we've changed the underlying structure, the outcome is not going to change. This is not the first one. It has come up repeatedly. And every time I take this position, because our teachers aren't able to find an affordable housing, they can't pay close to $1 million as a starting salary. So it has really created a very segregated system, which is not really helping our community, nor ability to attract more workforce of various income level in between, or young families who can't even pay the down payment if it is close to $1 million home. So we have to sit down with the Salem City Council and whoever else it is and say, what can we do to make it easy so that we can have different levels of housing? That will be the true answer to low income housing or, affordable housing policies. So that's the reason I would support this and encourage all of you to do it, please.
Thank you, Director Chandagiri. Director Bethel.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks to Director Carson Cottingham for the discussion that she and I had earlier today on this specific resolution. I would not have supported this resolution for the 10 years previous. I do support it in its current modified format of 5 years. I think that it's important that when tax abatements are provided, the intention of that, in my perspective, is to go towards accommodating the missing middle or workforce housing. And this does not do that. But what I do acknowledge in this, through the discussion with Director Carson Cottingham and further research, is that it's going to take a few years for this development to come online and for revenue to be generated by the developer. Therefore, they're not going to be shelling out dollars that they don't have right now, and it should help them stand up this project. So because of that, and it being a 5-year modified resolution, it makes sense to me to support them, to invite them into the community to work towards their goals, but then have the tax applied when they do have a revenue stream coming in to support the community as a whole, because they are going to be bringing in residents into the community, and services need to be provided for those residents, and taxes do a good job of providing services. So thank you again for your work on it, and I look forward to see this moving ahead.
Yes, Director Hine.
Here's a message to the city of Salem, though. Any future requests need to have housing for your working class. If a teacher can't afford your apartment, it's too expensive.
Thank you, Director Hine. Director Carson Cottingham, will Steve joining us to provide comment?
Steve is on. If you wishes to provide any comment, I think we would welcome that. I don't know if he wants to do that. Hi, Steve.
Steve Egan. I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions. We are excited about the possibility of providing some good downtown housing. And we have purposely tried to provide a variety of sizes and price points, from studios, 1-bedrooms, and a few 2-bedrooms. I think our price points, while I wouldn't necessarily term them low income, I think they are modest especially in our studios. And we are planning to invest about $30 million on the project. And this tax abatement is an extremely important part of our financing program. As you might imagine, the cost of construction in Salem is no different than the cost of construction in Portland, but the income produced between the two cities is quite a bit different. So the incentives that you provided are really, I think, wise, and they've caused us to be interested in investing in downtown Salem, because it does help offset the difference in the income structure. So we've appreciated the conversations we've had with some of your school board representatives. I have found them to be very forthright, but listening, and we'd appreciate your support.
Thank you for being on here, Steve. Again, I also appreciate the conversations that we've had, and thank Director Carson Cunningham for leading those conversations. Is there any questions for Steve? Yes, Director Carson Cunningham.
Yeah, I would just like to add that, you know, as presented in the application, the apartments, at least a subset of them are affordable. They fall within, I believe, that calculation of affordability. And so, you know, I know from my personal perspective and my perspective on this school board, I encourage Steve and his team to keep some of them affordable, although that's not a requirement by the city of Salem. And so I really look forward to the ongoing discussions with the city of Salem. And I think the other taxing districts, I think we're going to be having a broader policy discussion because I don't think we're all completely aligned with how these are proceeding from a policy perspective. And so I'm really happy to see the city leading to pull us all together to talk through these tax abatement applications that are coming forward more frequently now. But I think, you know, I've heard the city talk about the need for increased housing in general. We need more housing stock. We need shelters. We need low income housing. We need supportive housing with, you know, services and case management on site for people who are constantly in and out of homelessness or in and out of jail. We need market rate housing. We need more housing in general. And we need affordable housing. And so I think looking at that whole spectrum of the things we need is what the city has been doing. I think with some tweaks and more broader policy discussion, we would be maybe potentially more aligned. But I think, you know, our primary interest from my various conversations with people on this board is that we're concerned about our students. We're concerned about our families that may not have access to affordable housing. And we're concerned about people getting priced out of the market here. You know, we want teachers to be able to afford to live in a development that we're approving a tax abatement on. And so we've had a lot of these discussions with various people in our community, and I think we will continue to have those conversations. But I just appreciate Steve as a developer being willing to have those conversations. I think that's unique to come to the table and hear us out. So thank you for that. And this is a, you know, sort of a compromise proposal to give some certainty to him and his project to be able to move forward, because we definitely don't want vacant buildings in our downtown. I don't think that helps our housing situation at all.
Thank you, Vice Chair Carson Cunningham. Spoken very eloquently on this topic and share the sentiment as can you speak? Apologize for that. And again, for learning on this process through Steve talking to the city, and look forward to broader policy conversations with the city as well. Director Guzman Ortiz.
Thank you, everyone. Just going to be super brief. I just really want to second a lot of the comments that have already been mentioned tonight. And for me, supporting this 5-year abatement comes mostly because, number one, we are understanding that we do have a housing shortage, right? And that is in our community and all across the state. And so we cannot overlook that. And secondly, would really just looking forward to the policy discussion that hopefully comes from this. I think that we're all in a clear understanding of what the community needs are, and just really want to thank all my colleagues here as well for being on the same, you know, acknowledging just the difficulty and the complexity of some of these issues. Housing is, you know, it's a private business endeavor a lot of the times, and so really trying to partner with like public-private partnerships here to make sure that we are providing housing for families in our community but most importantly, that it is affordable. And, you know, I understand some of these are modest price studios. We have to also really consider family housing, right? We can have educators coming in and affording a studio, but if they're going to be settling here and growing a family, they have to have affordable, an affordable place to do that as well. So again, just thanks, Director Carson Cunningham, for leading the conversation on this as well, and looking forward to what's to come.
And Director Knowles-Pressey.
Thank you. Just want to round us out and very grateful for all the work that's been put in. Super grateful for Mr. Deacon and his team in his willingness to meet with us and work with us and discuss, you know, the finer points in the logistics. I think some of us kind of got a crash course in development budgeting. But yeah, I really appreciate this. And I do believe that housing is a human right, and I want to make sure that the systems are in place for us to support our families and our communities to get into housing. And I think that there's a lot of changes that we need to make, but I do appreciate Mr. Deacon's willingness to modify the abatement.
Okay, thank you. So on that note, all those in favor for this resolution, raise your hand. And I see all hands raised. So this resolution passes. Vice Chair Carson Cunningham.
Thank you. Thanks for the support in moving this forward. We will communicate back with the entire board and the community on next steps. We will need to continue to work with the city closely and Mr. Deacon closely to get this, I think, fully across the finish line. So, and Mr. Dacopoulos will hope by working with the city attorney for City of Salem to make sure we've got all the I's dotted and T's crossed. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 8 is now our consent calendar. I'll ask our Superintendent Parry to review these items.
All right, Dr. Udosa, you just stick up the personnel actions really quickly, just so I can walk through those ever so quickly. We have the grant agreements that you've seen before, and then you have 2 personnel actions within this. The first personnel action is the normal one you've seen every month. These are the resignations and hires for the month. And then the second action item, and these are all posted on our website and you got them before. This is our annual renewal of contracts. So what you see here are all of our licensed educators, teachers and administrators, and they're moved to the next phase of their contract status with us. So if they're a probationary year 1, this report moves them to a probationary year 2 for next year. If they're a probationary year 3, they're moved to contract status in this report. So it's a long list. You can see the thousands of licensed educators we have. I think there's like 9 pages. And it's typical that is done at this time and is required by statute. So we need to have you take a vote on it. And then the very next day, we start issuing contracts for next year. And this assures our licensed educators that they're employed with us for the next year. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Chair Avila, to get a motion on the table for the entire consent agenda.
Yeah, thank you for that. Do I have a motion? Director Chandigiri motions, Director Carson Cunningham second. Discussion?
Chair Avila, may I say something for?
Yes, sir.
Just one reminder, since we have 4 new board members, if you have a family member who is a teacher on that list, you need to abstain because you have a family member who has a financial interest in the contract. So I don't know if any of you do, so make sure that you pay attention to that for your own public ethics compliance.
And Director Bethel. I'll let you ask your question.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, Paul, I'm a little confused by that. In the past, they have acknowledged a conflict of interest if one existed on the record, but they didn't have to abstain from the vote. That would be a request of the board. So I'm not familiar with the procedure you're referring to.
Well, I think you can, since there's an exception to the financial conflict of interest, and that exception is if there's an approval of a large group. And so you can either abstain or you can vote after you declare the conflict.
Correct. I just want to make sure they have all their options. The declaration is important if they choose to do that.
Yeah, you're right, and I apologize for not giving the full description of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Director. I agree with the Director, but our policy also says as long as you declare it, then you can vote on that. And that doesn't preclude you from voting. That's my understanding. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But you need to declare it. That's really important.
Director Guzman-Ortiz.
Thank you. That was actually my question. I do have a family member. I'm listed as, I believe, a year one on here. So that is a conflict for me, but if possible, I would still like to vote. And if not, I can abstain.
Okay. So all those in favor to approve the consent calendar, raise your hand. All those against and abstain. Director Guzman-Ortiz abstains. All other directors approve. Motion passes. Great. We're going to go on to agenda item. Yes, Director Hyen.
Sorry, I'm confused, Paul, because, if we were voting on Director Guzman-Ortiz's relative only, I can see where she would need to abstain from voting. But when you're voting on thousands of people, it doesn't seem to me that you should have to abstain.
I think that was Director Bethel's point, and that when you have this situation in which there's a large group, you can vote as long as you declare the conflict. There's a group exception rule to the ethics rule that says you can't vote in favor of a financial benefit or detriment for a relative. So we've had board members abstain when they've had family members who are on this list of teachers who get their contracts extended. And we've had board members who have voted, but they've declared the conflict. So either is appropriate.
Okay. Thank you for that. Maybe we can do some follow-up clarification on that as well, written, Mr. Decopoulos. So readings, agenda item number 9, Howard Street Charter School.
Oh, all right. So this is the first reading of the Howard Street Charter School contract, and Dr. West is here tonight to go through that very quickly with you. And I do believe there's a few slides-a-thon at the end there as well. So Dr. West, I'll turn it to you.
Dr. West, just let me know when you'd like me to project the slides.
You can go ahead and get it set up. Thank you, Dr. Dosanata.
Okay.
Chair Avila, Superintendent Perry, directors, nice to see you all tonight. This is a first reading of the contract that we have negotiated with Howard Street Charter School. There's no action for tonight. I do want to share with you as soon as Dr. Dosanata puts the slides up, where we're at in the process. We are in the midst of step 3 in the process, which we have brought before you several times over the last few months. There you go. Thank you. Next slide, please. So for step 3, district staff and the charter school have 90 days to negotiate the agreement. We are in the midst of that. In order to meet that 90-day timeline, we do need to present you with a contract that you can review for action that will then be requested when we meet again in April. Just as a reminder, step one, we took care of in December. On December 14th, we presented the letter of intent to renew from Howard Street Charter School. On the 11th of January, you reviewed that letter and directed the district to negotiate. And so now we present to you that negotiated contract. Next slide, please. Just a few things to point out as you take the next several weeks to review the contract. First, you'll notice that there are several administrative type changes in the contracts. You might call these strike-throughs or red lines. These administrative changes are necessary because there have been substantial changes either in the way Howard Street Charter School is operating or, as another example, in where they're located. So you'll notice that one of the substantial strike-throughs within this negotiated contract is the language around Howard Street Charter School occupying the location at South Salem High School. They no longer occupy that space, so we needed to remove that language from the contract. So again, you'll notice several administrative type changes within the contract specific to those types of adjustments in our relationship with Howard Street Charter School. But a couple of things that I want to point out that are substantive and which you should spend some time looking at. We have agreed to increase what are known as pass-through funds from the district to the charter school. Specifically, the previous contract had an 85% pass-through rate. That means that for every student that attends Howard Street Charter School, 85% of the ADMW for that student passed through to the charter school. We are increasing that rate to 95% for this reason. Howard Street Charter School operates almost entirely independent of the school district. So the amount of monies that we need to retain to support Howard Street Charter School and their operations has continued to decrease over the period of the last contract to the point where we're at now, where we feel like, given those things that still do require interaction with the district, and those are things that are either required by the district ourselves or by state law, we really only need to retain about 5% of the ADMW for each student in order to provide that service. A couple of examples of the responsibilities that Howard Street Charter School has assumed over the last 5 years include Howard Street Charter School now being the sole employer for all of the staff at that location. They've taken on all of the operations. As I mentioned before, they're in their own building and do their own maintenance and maintain all of their own insurance and everything related to that. And they also have taken on all of their own programming. So the district doesn't support Howard Street Charter School with any of the programming they have at their school at this time either. So those are just some examples of ways in which Howard Street Charter School has really demonstrated to the district that they are independent and can do most of the functions of a school entirely on their own without our support. We do have Principal Tracy here with us tonight, so either one of us are available to answer questions for you if you have any at this time.
I can't see the full screen. There we go. I don't see any questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, we do have one question. Sorry.
Okay.
Director Bethel?
Yeah, thanks. I don't actually have a question. I just want to say that I appreciate the additional increase in pass-through funds for Howard Street Charter School. I think that it's a unique experience, opportunity, leadership perspective for that school to stand up more administrative oversight of their programs. And I know that they had been in discussion some time ago with the district to get where they are today. And I just want to commend the district and Howard Street for getting there. I think it's important to allow these charter schools to stand independently, and if we can support them in doing so, I think it makes sense. So I just want to put that on the record.
Thank you, Director Chandigiri.
And thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys are probably the first one to start a charter school, and you've done a good job. You know, to me, in the preliminary background discussions, I was talking about this is like the close to the value-based payment of what we would call an administrative withhold based on the outcome and based on an amazing job. I hope this becomes like a, you know, the gold standard for all other charter schools to start getting up where it comes to equity. You really embrace equity because, you know, you teach Spanish and things like a dual language immersion model, right? And all the other ways in which you can see the outcome. And I hope that others can also kind of embrace some of these, whether it's financially or kind of trying to do everything on your own, staff hiring, etc. And this could be like a model for value-based incentive based on the withhold that we have for financial pass-through that can be plowed back into the charter school, get all other charter schools to come up to this stage. That would be a fantastic model to start. And I hope we can develop similar metrics of outcome and incentives based on that, even if necessary, a sliding scale from 85 to 100% or 85 to 95% or whatever it is. So thank you. Good job.
Thank you, Director Chanagiri. Thank you, Ms. West. Director or Superintendent Perry?
I was just going to make a note that we're running up against our time for our translations team on the other side, so we'll have to adjust at some point.
If we can introduce the revision to BG11 board operations, the limited related revisions to BG9, board chair's role in the BG10 agenda planning.
Chair Avila?
Yes, Director Carson-Cunningham.
I would like to propose that we move that reading to our second meeting of this month. Would that be okay because of the time constraints with our translation?
That I don't see any issue about Director Hyatt.
There is not a second meeting this month that I saw on the list. So spring break.
Oh. Forgot about spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about keeping the translation service late.
Yeah. We can table it.
Can we bring it back next month?
Yeah, we'll bring it forward the following month.
Does that work for everyone? We have nods.
Yeah. We have a consensus of nodding.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay. There's standard reports that are provided in written form for the board's review ahead of the meeting, not as full presentations. The superintendent may have pointed to a couple of these reports in her earlier superintendent's report, and she may decide to quickly highlight something here, and we can do this.
I think if there's questions, if you would email some questions. If you have questions, I can include them in the superintendent's report for next time in the interest of time. And anytime as we give these written reports, if you have items you'd like have questions about, I can do my best to incorporate things in the superintendent's report.
Great, thank you. We could do 1 minute board reports, and Director Hyan.
Thank you. Yes, I had the honor of attending All City High School choir, orchestra, and band. My date was my son, who plays viola. It was wonderful. I was really proud of our students and their passion for music. It was just wonderful. And also just kind of to let the public know that many times parents have heard from me, and I know they appreciate it. When you send your comments through the link, we get those as a big batch, and I don't get those email addresses. So I just wanted people to know that if I don't get your email address, obviously I can't respond to you. But I did agree with most of the emails that we got tonight. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Chandigiri.
Thank you very much. we all had a very difficult and busy time. But I really want to say that I want to thank Director Ineos Pressy and Director Guzman Ortiz and Mrs. Barbara Gio and the Chair Avila and Superintendent Perry and your team to start the conversation around dual language immersion. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. Chair, I really want to appreciate you talking to that New Mexico group and hope we can get it in the April agenda. We have to start, we have to do something because we can make a huge difference. So thank you very much. I really appreciate.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And that's dual language New Mexico. Director Guzman Ortiz.
Sorry,
just 1 minute board reports, if you have anything.
Nothing to report. Just want to say happy Social Worker Month to my fellow social workers, and especially those that work in the district and that are supporting all of our students day in and day out. It's been a very difficult last 2 years, so just huge shout out to those colleagues. Thanks for all that you do.
Thank you for that reminder. Director Bethel?
Thank you. I have 2 things. One, Superintendent Perry, I'd really love to see in your report next month some specific context around the amount of violence that we're seeing in schools. We have a huge increase in suspensions. If everybody looked at the key performance indicators, I'm pretty concerned, and I'd like to know what the district is actively doing internally and externally with partners to take care of our kids, especially the victims. And secondly, roads specific, it's really important, I think, to all of us on how we get kids to school. And Safe Routes to Schools is a state funding bucket of money that is potentially going to receive a larger influx from the feds. And Marion County has applied for many grants specific around our schools in the county, but a lot of them focus on our district. And I'm excited to be able to work with Maria and the SCATS team to really allocate those dollars to the needy communities that have kids that walk the most on dangerous roads. I know that we have 2 already in the works in the East Salem area and many more to come. So as you're talking to legislators and so forth, if we can get them to move those dollars to where they really help our kids get to school, that would be great. But I appreciate the effort that we've put in so far and look forward to accessing more funds to keep kids safe on their way. Thanks.
Thank you. Director Ineos Pressy? No comments. Vice Chair Carson Cunningham?
I had the opportunity to attend the Native Education Parent Advisory Committee with Chair Avila, and wonderful discussion talking about the things that our Native youth need from our school system, and getting to know some of the leaders, representation from multiple tribes. It was just a really wonderful conversation with a lot of issues raised that are important for us to drill down and make sure that we're really working to achieve equity for our Native youth and everyone. And then just happy International Women's Day, everyone.
Yeah, that too. Thank you for that. Best Student Advisor, Grace.
Thank you for that.
And I have a question. Yeah, I have a question. And it might put you on the spotlight, so you don't have to answer. But
no, it's fine. It's fine.
College decision yet?
No, not yet. I won't know till March 31st.
Okay, we'll find out.
That's like the final day for decisions.
It'll be in our superintendent's report.
Yeah, that will be in the report. Let's see. Man, I'm all ignored. Oh, I know. I'll make it quick. I'm working with communications and some other students on some projects around safety, school safety.
Nice. Yeah, no, I don't have anything. I caught the safety presentation. Grace did an amazing job there too, as well as all these staff members and partners that came on board to provide the information. Very relevant and fascinating. So thank you all for setting that up. Again, I want to call this meeting adjourned at 9:05. So thank you and have a good night.